In this type of estivation, the margin of sepals or petals, the margins of sepals or petals just touch each other. The margins of sepals or petals just touch each other. Full stop. Then you write, there is no overlapping. There is
margins. What is after margins?
The margin of sepals or petals just touch each other. Full stop. There is no overlapping between the petals or sepals. There is no overlapping between the petals or sepals. And an example you write down, calotropis. 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 And you underline it because it is the scientific name. Done? Did anyone leave out anything? Shall I repeat it again?
From the examples.
Calotropis. 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 Then? All right. Then you write down the second one, twisted estivation. Twisted estivation. In that you write down, in this type of estivation, the margin of one petal, in this type of estivation, the margin of one petal or sepal overlaps the margin of the adjacent successive petal or sepal. Adjacent successive petal or sepal and so on. Full stop. For the examples of twisted, you write down China rose. In the bracket, you can write hibiscus. Then lady's finger and cotton. China rose, lady's finger and cotton. Everyone's done? Okay. Now the third type is imbricate. The third type of estivation is imbricate estivation. Okay, you write down. In this type of estivation, overlapping is present. In this type of estivation, overlapping is present, but not in a particular direction. Okay. For the example, you people write down cassia, starts from a capital C, C-A, SSIA, cassia. And then you underline it because it is again a scientific name. So cassia. And the second example is gul mohar. Gul gul Mumohar. Gul mohar. So cassia and gul mohar are the two examples of what? Imbricate estivation. Clear? Any doubts? Did
No,
anyone
ma'am.
anything? Okay. Then coming on to the fourth type of estivation, you write down vexillary estivation. Vexillary estivation. Okay, in that you write down. In this type of estivation, there is in this type of estivation, there is a large petal. There is a large petal called as standard. In this type of estivation, there is a large petal called as standard, which overlaps the two smaller lateral petals, called as the wings. And these wings overlap the two smallest anterior petals called as keel. 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 In this example, you write down P, and then bean flower. P and the flower of bean. Done? Everyone's done? Okay. Any doubts? Okay, so we are through with the
No, ma'am.
estivation. Okay. Now moving on to androecium. What is androecium, students? I've taught you this thing. What is androecium?
The male reproductive part of the
Very good. It is the male reproductive part of a flower. So now talking, and what is the one unit of androecium called as?
stamen.
Yes, exactly. Stamen. Very good. Now, androecium is composed of stamens. Each stamen represents the male reproductive organ, and one stamen consists of a stalk or a filament and an anther. So two parts are there. There is a structure that is bilobed like this, which is the anther. And then from the anther, there is a long stick-like structure called as the filament or a stalk. Now, the anther is usually bilobed. Bilobe means two lobes are present, right? As you can see in the picture, 1, 2. Two lobes are present. And then each lobe has two chambers. Meaning, all in all, how many chambers will be there? If each lobe has two chambers? 4 chambers,
Four.
right? Total 4 chambers are there. So, these chambers that are present inside the anther, they are known as pollen sac. And pollen sac is the like the part of the male reproductive flower where pollen grains are made. Okay, you people know what pollen grains are, right? So the pollen grains, they are made inside the pollen sac. So anther is a bilobe structure. It has two chambers in each of the lobe, and those chambers are called as pollen sacs. Now the pollen grains are produced in the pollen sac. After that, a sterile stamen is called as a staminode. A sterile stamen. What is the meaning of sterile? Anyone?
Not exposed to the surface.
Not exposed to the surface. No. See, sterile is the opposite of fertile. Fertility, you people understand? Anything that is able to reproduce. Not anything, but anyone or any part that is able to reproduce. Sterile is the opposite of fertile. So, a sterile stamen, meaning stamen will be there, but whatever pollen grain is needed, it will not make. So, it's not capable of reproduction. So, these kind of stamens that cannot make pollen grains, they are sterile and we call them as staminode. Staminode means it is a part of the androecium, but it is not functional. It's sterile. Clear? So a sterile stamen is called as a staminode. Now, the stamens of flower, they may be united with other members such as petals or among themselves. So many a times the stamens, which is a long, you can say stalk-like portion, it can be connected to the petal. Sort of like, see here. Do you see this diagram? So this long part, this one, this is the androecium, right? This yellow part that you see is the anther, and this green part that you see is the filament. So many a times the stamen part of the flower, it can be like separate from any other thing surrounding it. It can be present just like that. But many a times it gets attached onto the petals. So whenever the stamen is attached on top of a petal, there is a term we used to call it. The stamens are attached to the petals and we call it as epipetalous. Epi means on top, petalous means petal. So anything that is present on top, not anything, but the stamens that are present on top of the petals, we call it as epipetalous stamens. This one is found in brinjal. The brinjal plant has epipetalous stamens. You can also, whenever, if we are talking in the case of lily, because in lily, you cannot distinguish which is the sepal and which is the petal, right? So lily has perianth, and one unit of perianth is known as one unit of corolla was petal. One unit of calyx was sepal. So what is the one unit of perianth? It's a very weird name. So we have petal, sepal, and then we have
Tepals.
huh?
Tepals.
Tepals. Yes, tepals. So the one unit of perianth is tepal. So whenever that stamen will be attached onto a perianth, because in perianth you can't say whether it is a calyx or a corolla. So in that case, you'll call it as epiphyllous, because you can't say petalous because they don't have petals separately. So whenever it is written epiphyllous, people should understand that the stamens, they are attached onto the perianth, such as in the flowers of lily, because lily is a perianth flower. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. Where did the rest of the students go? Did you people leave the class? You ran away, like, let ma'am speak. Hmm? Jobita, Jesleen, Sabiha, you people like, oh, ma'am is there. Okay, switch off the video. Let's go away. Is that the case? No, right? Then switch on your video. I need to see you at all times.
Ma'am,
Yes.
my camera is glitching for some reason. I don't know why.
Is it glitching? Oh, yeah, it is. I see a cat and then I see you. Okay, Jobita and Sabiha, you people switch on your videos. I'll not keep asking throughout the class. People know that it is a rule. So switch on your videos. All right, now moving forward, the stamens in a flower may either remain free. So you people remember polypetalous, gamopetalous? Poly was for free and gamo was for united or fused. So same happens for the stamens also. So whenever many stamens are present, just like how we saw the picture of the flower. So in that, what happens that the all of the stamens are separately present. You can make out one stamen, two stamen, three. You can count it. But many a times the stamens are present in a bunch and they are sort of attached onto each other. They are fused. So in the case wherein they are free, we call it as polyandrous. Just like how there was polypetalous, polysepalous, right? So here polyandrous. And they may be united in varying degrees. Now, once if like for example, the stamens are united into one bunch or one bundle. So if the stamens are together in one bundle, we'll call it as monoadelphous. Mono means one. This one is found in China rose. And when they are present in two bundles, we'll say diadelphous. Di means two. This one is found in pea. And when they are in more than two bundles, like multiple bundles of stamens are found in the flower, then we'll call it as polyadelphous. More than two means it can be 3, 4, 5, and so on. So this one is found in the citrus. So monoadelphous, diadelphous, and polyadelphous are the three different kinds of united stamens. Just like how we had united petals, we used to call it as gamopetalous. Here we don't say gamos androus or anything of that sort. We say monoadelphous if one bundle is there, diadelphous if two bundles are there, and then polyadelphous is more than two bundles are there. Now, there may be variation in the length of filaments within a flower as in salvia and mustard. For example, if this is a flower, okay, and inside there is the presence of stamen. So this is the anther and this is the filament. So many times this length of the filament, it can vary. For example, one filament is longer. So one can be shorter also. The pen is not working. So, okay, let's just wait for that to work. So another one can be smaller like this. Then another one can be longer like this. So the length of this filament means the part where anther is attached. It can vary in one flower. So that is in the case of salvia and mustard. It's a unique property. It's not found in all flowers and it's not a trend. But this can also be found. Clear? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
All right. Now moving on to gynoecium. Gynoecium, just like how androecium was the male reproductive part, the gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower. And one unit of gynoecium is called as, tell me.
Carpel.
Yes. It is known as carpel, or you can also call it as pistil. Now, just like how stamen had two parts, anther and filament. Here, the carpel has three parts. Okay, three parts are there. So when we start with, there is stigma. Okay. Then the longer portion is called as the style. And then there is a big swollen portion we call as the ovary. So three parts of the carpel are there. Now ovary is the large basal part, meaning it is towards the basal end, base, on which lies the elongated tube called as the style. So this is ovary, this is style, and this one is stigma. So the ovary is like the large, big vessel-like thing which is present towards the lower portion. And on top of it is the presence of style. It is a tube-like structure. Then the style connects the ovary to the stigma. It is connecting the ovary to the landing portion, that is the stigma. Stigma is usually at the tip of the style and is receptive surface for pollen grains. So whenever pollen grains are released, they land on the stigma. This you will study in class 12, but you should know that the landing area, imagine it like a runway. It is a runway of the plants, meaning the planes of the pollen grain, when it will come, it will land on the stigma. Okay, students? Now, each ovary, now we are going inside the ovary of the carpel. So now each ovary bears one or more ovules attached to a flattened cushion like placenta. So inside the ovary, ovules are present and ovules are attached to placenta. This is clear? Inside the ovary, ovules will be present and these ovules, they will be attached to a cushion-like structure called as placenta. Now, when more than one carpel is present, more than one carpel in one flower, so and they may be free or they may be united. So when they are free, such as in the case of lotus and rose, so when the carpels are free, we call it as apocarpus. And when they are fused, we call it as syncarpus. Syn means fusion. Okay. So when they are fused, we'll call it as syncarpus, such as in mustard and tomato. Now see, the way they have named everything creates a big confusion for children, isn't it? Like you people studied that petals, when they are fused, they are called as gamopetalous. But now when they are fusing carpus, they are saying syncarpus. Why not gamocarpus? Isn't it? So like we can't do anything to that, but you people have to learn it. Like when you learn, be very mindful. Okay, be very careful while you're learning, because this chapter has so many examples and has so many technicalities. So you people should pay attention to that. So syncarpus kind of carpels are present in mustard and tomato. Now, after the fertilization has been done, meaning the fusion of the male and the female gamete has been done, the ovules which are present inside the ovary, these ovules only develop into the seed. So for example, like how the mango has one seed, that seed, where is it coming from? So it is developed from the ovule. And the fruit, for example, mango only, the fleshy part, the outer part, everything. So that is a mature ovary. So ovules develop into seed and ovaries mature into a fruit. This is what happens later on after development. This is also something you people are going to study in class 12. So the gynoecium part is clear. Androecium part is clear. Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now we're going to talk about the next thing, that is placentation. Now placentation is the way the ovules will be arranged inside the ovary. Meaning, have you people opened the green peas to take out the seeds? Have you done that? Your mother have assigned you that work? So when you like split it open, have you seen that it lays on the margin? All the seeds that you take out, it is present in a line. Okay. Then how many of you have cut a lemon? For anything, lemons, right? So when you when you cut a lemon and you see it like this, you have like all the seeds are present like this, isn't it? You can see that even in oranges, you can see the seeds. So that is placentation, the way the seeds are present inside a fruit, meaning the way the ovules are present inside the ovary, we call it as placentation. So we study that arrangement also. Okay. So if I say arrangement of ovules within ovary, so I mean arrangement of seed within the fruit. So you people instantly think about like lemon, you can think about the green pea, you can also think about oranges, right? So all of these are the arrangement, the way the seeds are present inside a fruit. Now talking about placentation, so they are of a variety of types. We have marginal placentation, axile placentation, parietal, basal, central, and free central. All of these are the various kinds. Now see, this is the picture that they are showing for the different placentation. Now the first one, I think almost everyone has seen this, isn't it? This one. Here, the ovules are present at the margin position. This is the margin. So it is present at the margin. So this type of placentation wherein the ovules, these are the ovules and this is the fruit. So inside it, what happens is that the seeds are present at the margin. So we call it as marginal placentation. Now see students, I'll tell you one thing which I find very bizarre is that when we study the fruits and vegetables in terms of English, right? We know that there are certain food we call as vegetables and there are certain foods we call as fruits. But in terms of botany or in terms of biology, every single fruit and every single vegetable is a fruit. Why? I'll tell you how. See, don't go with the literal meaning of a fruit being a fruit. Imagine that whenever the ovary, like whenever fertilization takes place in a plant, then what happens? The ovary becomes a fruit, right? Ovary becomes a fruit. So no matter whether if it is potato or if it is not actually potato, no. If it is the garden peas, if it is the lemon or if it is the mango, all of them have like been formed from the mature ovary. So all in all, you can think that they are all fruits only. In terms of biology, I'm saying. In terms of biology, they are fruits, meaning they are mature ovaries. You people are getting me? Hmm? Okay, you don't have to write this anywhere. I'm just saying to confuse you people. This is clear? All right. Okay. So we were talking about marginal placentation, right? Now, in marginal placentation, the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary, and the ovules are borne on this ridge, forming two rows as in the case of P. Basically, what they want to say is that they are present at the marginal side of the fruit. Okay, the marginal side of the P has all the seeds in it. Now, when the placenta is axial, so in this case, the ovules are attached to it in a multilocular ovary. Then the placenta is said to be exile. See, locules are present, certain compartments are present inside the ovules, inside the fruit, and we call it as locule. So when many locules are present, we say multilocule. So see this one. This is locule number 1, this is locule number 2, and this is locule number 3. So since 3 of them are present, so we'll call it as multilocular. So here the ovule, like the ovules will be attached in all of the locules. Do you see? 2 of them are here, 2 of them are here, and 2 of them are here. So this type of presentation, we call it as what? We call it as axial or axial actually. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
This is clear? Okay. Now moving forward, the next one, this axial placentation is present in the China rose, tomato, and lemon. This is what they have. And also, if you look at a lemon, if you cut it nicely, have you people ever felt that whenever we put the lemon in that squeezy thing, sometimes the juice of the lemon does not come out because there is a wall that hinders it. Have you people seen that? There is a wall. The wall, you can separate the wall. Even in oranges, you can split open it, right? So that is what we call as the particular locule. And when you split open it, then the juice comes out. Now in parietal placentation, parietal, right? Parietal, the word parietal refers to periphery, isn't it? It is referring sort of to the periphery. So now in this case, the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or on the peripheral part. So whenever the ovule, see, this is at the periphery. Periphery means at the sides. So when the ovules will be present at the periphery, we'll call it as parietal. And this one is found in mustard. Is it? Yeah. And argemone. Now, when the ovules are borne on the central axis, right in the middle, no attachment to the walls. They're present right in the middle. So that is what we call as precentral. It's present in the center, right? So this one is found in dianthus and primrose. Lastly, there is the basal placentation. Here, the placenta develops at the base of the ovary and a single ovule is attached to it. This one is found in sunflower and marigold, meaning this placenta is developing at the base of the ovary. Okay, towards the basal part, not throughout, not at the side, but at the base. So that is what we call as the basal placentation. Sunflower and marigold are the examples. So placentation is clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, in the last diagram, can you show which is the placenta and which is the ovule?
Not ovule, but see this white part, they are referring it as the, you can say, the basal portion of the ovary, meaning this part, the white part, is the fruit part, and this green part is the seed, meaning the ovule. Okay, so it is present towards the base of the ovary, so that is why we're calling this kind of placentation or the arrangement of ovule as basal. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now see students, as far as this chapter goes, I can do my best to teach you all of the things that are important. But at the end, what do you think? Is it like, is just understanding enough for this chapter? No, right? You people have to learn the examples, right? You have to learn it. That is the only way out. Now, if you want to make some this thing mnemonics, you can do that on your own. If you want to do, like, you have to make it playful in order to understand it. Like, I totally understand that this chapter is very boring. I understand that because teaching it is also very boring. You people are studying, I get that, but teaching it is also very, very tedious and boring. So the best thing, let's not waste, like, we have spent so many classes on that, right? So the only thing that I can ask you all is to learn this very nicely. And one more tip for all of you, like, whenever you are sitting to learn biology, no matter whichever chapter it is, don't don't think about that, okay, this is such a long chapter, I have to complete this chapter and all. No, divide the chapter, like divide the pages, divide the chapter, or divide the topic, however you want to do it. Like, for example, if the chapter consists of 20 pages, it usually doesn't, but if it does consist of 20 pages, divide it into like 5 5. Like, okay, for 1 hour I'll learn these 5 pages, for the next 1 hour I'll learn the rest of the 5 pages. So when you compartmentalize your work, it becomes easier. And when you'll sit with a chapter like morphology and try to learn it all at once, I'll give you, in writing, it can never happen. It didn't even happen with me while I was learning this chapter. So take it in steps. For example, for now, like, after the class is done, you people learn estivation and placentation, all the types and examples. Examples are very important in this chapter. This chapter is all example based, because they'll ask you what is the example of basal, or like in MCQs, they'll be like, maybe like, out of these, which one has basal placentation? So you should know that sunflower and marigold does, right? So this chapter is very tedious, and so you people should just Rattamaro. You have to do that only in this chapter. You have to do Rattamaro. Yes?
Peach is also a part of basal placentation.
Peach. I don't think so. No. No. And one more thing, but I'd have to see the ovule orientation in peach. Now, normally the ovule is present right in the middle, isn't it? The seed is present right in the middle of the peach and it is surrounded by the flesh. So I don't think it is basal placentation, but you never know. It may be. We have to cut open a seed to see it, isn't it? See, and in this chapter, okay, one more thing I'll assure you all. As far as the examples of each and every topic goes, none of the examples outside these examples will be asked. Okay, so be sure of that. Even in the competitive exams such as NEET, the examples other than the NCRT examples do not come. So be tension free from that, because the NCRT examples are more than enough, isn't it? So, okay, now moving on to the fruit. See, students, I am thinking to complete this chapter with NCRT today, and I'll provide you with the notes. Okay, because I just want to complete it and start a new fresh chapter, because this is taking a lot of time. I don't know when was the time I started this chapter. I don't even remember it. I think it took 5 classes up until now, isn't it? And we are having 2 hour classes.
Yes, ma'am. We started on 6th.
6th. Imagine today is 21st August. Okay. So I really, really want to complete this chapter today. If I'm teaching you with the NCRT PDF, you people are able to understand, right? I hope no one is having any difficulty. Hmm? What about the rest of the students? Only 2 students do not have any difficulty. What about others? Jobita, Jesslyn, Sabiha, you people tell me.
No, ma'am.
Okay. If anyone has any difficulty, please feel free to tell me. Okay. I'm here to teach you. So whichever way you want to learn, I'll teach you in that. So now coming on to the fruit. Always remember that it is the product of fertilization. Meaning whenever reproduction takes place in a flowering plant, the result is a fruit. Okay. So we can say that the fruit is the baby of the flower or the baby of the plant. Okay. So this is the result of fertilization or the result of reproduction. Now, the presence of fruit is a characteristic feature of flowering plants. What are flowering plants called as in plant kingdom?
And angiosperms.
Yeah, angiosperms. You're waiting for my reaction and then you'll give the answer. Angiosperms. Correct. Angiosperm. Now, they have, like, whenever the fertilization has been completed, the ovary ripens up. The ovary gets matured and it forms a fruit. And it develops after fertilization, meaning after the fusion of the male and the female gamete is done. So normally, all of those fruits that are formed as a result of fertilization, we'll call them as true fruits. True fruits. They are the true fruits. But then there are many other fruits that do not develop as a result of fertilization. Okay, so like some of those fruits that develop without fertilization, they are known as parthenocarpic fruit, meaning they are developed by spraying some hormones or of that sort. But in parthenocarpic fruits, there is no fertilization happening. But there are another group of fruits. Like normally, if I say the fruits develop from dash, what would you say? The fruits
Ovary.
develop ovary, right? The fruit develops from the ovary. Now, if any fruits develop from any part of the flower other than the ovary, then we'll call it as false fruit. We'll call it as false fruit, just like apple. Apple is not developed from ovary. It is developed from the thalamus of the thalamus, meaning the swollen part that is holding on the petals and everything. So apple develops from thalamus. So apple is a false fruit. And true fruits are all those fruits that develop from the ovary. Now, those fruits that develop without fertilization at all, meaning no fertilization takes place in them, and the fruit develops. So, in those fruits are known as parthenocarpic fruits. One example of parthenocarpic fruit is banana also. Banana can be made without fertilization also by spraying hormones and stuff. Now, generally, talking about the fruit walls. See, okay. Okay. You people imagine the mango. Okay. So when you eat a mango, you peel off the mango, right? You peel it off. So the part that you peel off, meaning the outermost layer of the mango or the outermost wall, is known as the particular epicarp. Outer, epi means on top, and carp is referring to the layer. So the like the layer that is present on the outer side is known as epicarp. Now the part that you eat, the fleshy mango that you eat, is the mesocarp. It is the second layer. Okay, and then towards inside is the endocarp. So epicarp, mesocarp, and endocarp, and all of these together are known as pericarp. Clear? Now, the pericarp can be dry or it can be fleshy. And whenever it is fleshy, then only we have these layers that are differentiated. Now, in the case of mango and coconut, the fruit is known as a drupe. They develop from monocarpellary superior ovaries. Monocarpellary, meaning they have just one carpel. Those flowers in which only one carpel is present, meaning one female reproductive structure is there. That is a monocarpellary ovary. And what do you mean by superior ovary, students? Superior ovary.
The ovary is present outside.
Outside or above the other walls?
Higher than the
Above.
other.
Higher than. Yes. Yes. And what is the name for superior ovary? Epigynous. Perigynous.
Homogynous.
Hypogynous. Homogynous is nothing. Hypogynous. Yes. So superior ovaries, they are like the mango and all those fruits that are known as drupe. They are developing from a monocarpellary superior ovaries and they have only one seed. Just like how mango has one seed. Now in the mango, the pericarp is well differentiated into an outer thin epicarp, right? The peel of the mango. Then middle fleshy edible mesocarp, which is the part you eat. And then the layer that covers the seed or towards the seed is the endocarp, the part that we throw away. And then there is the seed. So these are the layers of the pericarp. The pericarp gets divided into three types. But when we talk about the coconut, in the case of coconut, which is also a drupe just like mango, but here in this case, the mesocarp is not edible. You people have seen a coconut tree and you people have like had coconut water also. So the big green part, that only when it dries up after a while, it becomes like this, isn't it? It is the, you can say the dried form or the dried version of that. So the outer tough part that you can bang your heads on, tuck, tuck. So that part is the epicarp. Okay. And then towards the inner side is this fleshy, hairy structure, very rough. So that is the mesocarp. And this mesocarp is not edible. It is fibrous. Do we eat that? We don't eat that. And then towards the inner side, the beautiful white part that is very sweet and nice. So that is the endocarp, and that is what we eat. Clear? Any doubts? So we have completed the fruit. Now we know that the fruit is the product of fertilization and it is, you can say that it is a characteristic feature, meaning all the members of the flowering plants, they have fruit present. Now coming on to the seed. Now we know that once the fertilization has been done, the ovules, they turn into the seed and the ovaries, they develop into the fruit. So the ovules develop into the seed. Now a seed is made up of a seed coat, which is the outer covering of the seed, and it has an embryo inside. Now the embryo is made up of a radicle. You people remember R for radical, R for root? So this radical is present inside the seed, meaning inside the embryo. And embryonal axis is present and one or two cotyledons. One cotyledon if it is a monocot, meaning one seed, like the seed can't be split into two, such as in the case of wheat, maize. Two cotyledons, such as in the gram and pea, when the cotyledon, you can separate the seeds like that. So a seed has these many things present inside. Now a dicot seed, meaning you can split the seed into two parts. That is a dicot seed. The outermost covering of a seed is called as the seed coat. The seed coat has two layers, the outer testa and the inner tegmen. So seed coat, it is made up of two layers, testa and tegmen. Now hilum is a particular part on the seed coat, which is like a scar. And through this, like this scar tells us that this is the point from where the seed was attached to the fruit. So hilum is that point of attachment. Above the hilum, a small pore is present, which is known as the micropyle. Now, this micropyle is very important because from here, oxygen goes inside the seed, and the seed stays alive that way. Okay, you might have observed, if you have observed the seed of chana, if you have chana, so this one, you can see a very tiny hole on it. The next time chana is made in your homes, just look at it. Okay, like when you look at a chana, you'll see that towards the part that gets like, it is like this, and this part, like it's not like this, but you people can imagine. So this part, the part where it's like a pointy structure. You can see it if you see it carefully. If you have magnifying glasses, you can see through that also. A tiniest hole will be present. Now, when you try to remove the outer layer of the chana, you can do that, isn't it? You can do so easily. And then if you try to split the chana into two parts, you can do that also. So uh, by that I mean the small circular structure dot-like hole. It is known as the micro, and through which the oxygen and everything delivers inside. Now, within the seed coat is the embryo, consisting of an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. Two cotyledons are there. Now, the cotyledons, they are often fleshy and full of reserve food materials. Like they have a lot of starch, they have a lot of proteins. So these cotyledons are packed with nutrients. Now, at the end of the two embryonal axes are the presence of radicle and plumule. We know that the radicle will further, if you plant this seed, the radicle will give rise to the root, and the plumule will give rise to the stem. Now, in some seeds, such as castor, the endosperm formed as a result of double fertilization is a food storing tissue. Don't worry about double fertilization. You don't have to study about it in this class. I mean, in class 11. But remember that a structure called as endosperm is found in castor seeds. So those seeds, and not just castor, there are some other seeds like this thing also. Maize and wheat, they have endosperm present in it. Now, endosperm is again a reserve food material for the seed. Now, those seeds that have endosperm present, we call them as endospermic seeds. Now, in plants such as bean, gram, and pea, the endosperm is not present in mature seeds, and such seeds are called as non-endospermous seeds. Okay, meaning endosperm is not there. And the seeds that have the endosperm, we'll say endospermous or endospermic seeds. This much is clear to you all? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
All right. So this was for dicot. Don't resemble it with monocot. This is the case just for dicots. Then comes monocots. Now, generally, monocot seeds are endospermic, but some, as in orchids, are non-endospermic. Most of the monocots are endospermic, but some of them can be non-endospermic also, meaning endosperm will not be present in them. Now, in the seeds of cereal, such as maize, the seed coat is membranous and generally fused with the wall of the fruit. The endosperm in the case of monocots is bulky and it is responsible for the storage of food. The outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by a proteinaceous layer called as allulose layer. Allulose layer surrounds the whole entire endosperm, and it is a layer rich in proteins. You people remember alluroplast? A type of what? Alluroplast is a type of leucoplast, isn't it? And leucoplast is a plastid. So that alluroplast only will be present here in much, much more number. Now the embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of the endosperm. It has only one cotyledon and you call that cotyledon as scutellum. You name the cotyledon. They also have plumule and radicle doing the exact same thing, but they have additional layers. For example, see in this. Here you can see radical is here, and this radical is covered by a layer, and this layer is known as colioriza. And then there is the plumule, which will give rise to the stem. But this is also covered in layers, and we'll call it as coleoptile. These are the protective layers for plumule and radicle in the monocot seed. This is not found in the dicot seeds. Okay, one more thing, I'll give you the way to remember it. See, radical has a R in it, coleoriza has an R in it. So radical will be covered by coleoriza. Plumule has a P in it, coleoptile has a P in it. So I remembered it like this only when I was in class 11. So you people can do that also. Okay. So with that being said, we have actually completed the seed or the monocot. Now the last part of this particular chapter is the floral families, the different families. Now students, tell me one thing. Go like which part of this chapter has been deleted? Tell, if you can look or tell me, it is given somewhere. Is there any part of this chapter
Modification of roots, stem, and leaves. Modification of roots, stem, and leaves.
that is deleted?
Yes, ma'am. It's not there in the reading.
It's not there in the syllabus.
Yeah, ma'am. Like on the rationalized read, it's not there.
Okay, so while I was teaching it, I mean,
Ma'am, I told you.
you did?
Yeah.
Anyway, you people now know. Like, and see here in the test, I will ask because you people know it, and I think many of you will be going like giving the NEET examination after 12th. So that gets asked in NEET also. Okay, so like as I always say, the study never goes to waste. Now tell me about the floral family. Is it there in the syllabus, and how many families are there? Just check and tell me.
Ma'am, it's there till the floral characters.
What?
It's there till the floral characters.
Floral characters, only this much.
Ma'am,
Meaning
this is
Solanaceae, Liliaceae, all of those things are not there.
it's there, ma'am.
Hmm. How many families are there? Only Solanaceae or Liliaceae, Brassicaceae, all of these things are also there.
No, ma'am, only Solanaceae is there.
Only Solanaceae. Okay, so I have the updated PDF. All right. Okay, students, let's take a 5 minutes break and then we'll continue with plural families. Okay. For 5 minutes, you people can relax also. Even I'll relax my throat. All right, students, come back. So let's just finish this chapter. So, so now we're going to talk about the technical description of a typical flowering plant. See, what happens is that with the usage of certain symbols, are you people there? Hmm. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying that with the help of certain symbols, you can define a particular family of a plant. Okay, meaning like on the basis, actually, if you, for example, if you take a plant and it has the leaf also, it has the petals also, and everything you are seeing. Okay, by the count of whatever things are there, there is like a fixed structure, just like how we have a formula, right? And you apply your numbers onto a formula and you get the result. Same thing happens in this case also. For example, if there is a plant, now if you count the number of petals, okay, for example, however many numbers of petals are there. Just 1 second. Okay, Zanab, I'll start that chapter. Anatomy. Is anatomy of flowering plants coming in anyone else's exam also? No. What about Jobita and Jessie? Yours also? Oh, okay, okay. I'll start that chapter only. Now, in that chapter, I want full concentration and interest, because that is, I'll not say it now. Okay, so talking about the formula of the flowers, right? So if I give you a flower and I ask you to observe it, so what will you do? You'll count the number of petals, right? And you'll see that whether the petals are overlapping each other or not, right? And then you'll see how many numbers of petals are there. Are the petals fused or are they separate? Now, do they have sepals or not? All of these you're going to see. So there is a set formula. If the numbers that you have counted matches with the number that has been given, then it means that it belongs to that family. So with the help of this formula, you can find out which plant belongs to which family. Okay. So now, various morphological features are used to describe a flowering plant. The description has to be brief, in a simple and a scientific language, and presented in a proper sequence. The plant is described beginning with its habitat, vegetative characters, meaning roots, stems, leaves, and then the floral characters like the parts of the flower, the inflorescence and everything. So after that, we deduce a formula for it. Now see, there are certain symbols you people should know about. So for you people remember bracteate flowers? The flowers that had bracts present were bracteate. So BR is for those flowers that have bracts present. Then capital K stands for calyx. Capital C stands for corolla. And just in case if the flower has a perianth, so you'll write P for the perianth. Capital A is for androecium and G is for gynoecium. And whenever you want to say that the gynoecium is superior, so you'll do like this. And when you want to say the gynoecium is inferior, you'll do like this. So whenever the gynoecium will be present above the dash, when it will be underlined, then it means that the gynoecium is superior. And when it will be present under the dash, means inferior. So like the trick I used to remember it with, if the G is present above, it means that I used to remember, you people understand the meaning of janta, public, right? So I used to say janta sabse upar, janta ke upar G, so that is superior gynoecium, but you don't use it. You can use whatever you want to. I'm just saying what I used to use. So that is gynoecium for superior ovary. And when this is the case, under the dash or under the bar, so then that is inferior ovary. This symbol is for male and this one is for female. Now, if you get confused, many a times this is used in like in front of washrooms also. So just in case if you people get confused, I'll tell you the trick that I used to use. Whenever like one, if you remember one, then automatically the other one becomes the rest, right? So if this one, this is for female, so I used to remember it like a frog. So if this is a frog, so that is a female. So imagine this as a frog. So that is a female, and the rest, the one that is left is a male. Now, for bisexual flower in which the male and the female are present in one, so we'll call it as, we'll symbol it as this. Then actinomorphic, we'll symbol it like this. Actinomorphic is known as what in terms of animal? Which kind of symmetry is actinomorphic? Which type of symmetry? Radial or bilateral? It's radial. Radial symmetry is actinomorphic. And when you draw a percentage sign, then that is bilateral symmetry. Okay, so these are the signs. That is zygomorphic. Okay. Now, whenever you want to, for example, if I write K, K is for calyx, right? And C is for corolla. So if I say that the number of sepals are 5 and the number of petals are 5, this is how we write. Now, if I want to write that the 5 petals, they are fused. So I'll do a bracket like this. And if bracket is not present, it means that they are free. Okay. So fusion is indicated by enclosing the figure within bracket and addition by a line drawn above the symbol. And for example, you people remember epipetalous androecium? What was epipetalous? Epipetalous. You can derive from the name only. Epipetalous. Epipetalous. What is the meaning of epi? On top. Okay, on top. And petalous means petal. So those androecium that are attached on top of a petal. So A is for androecium, C is for corolla. So you draw it like this. It means that they are epipetalous. This connection shows that they are epipetalous. Okay. Now we'll see the floral formula. If you look at this particular floral formula of a family here, tell me, is it actinomorphic or zygomorphic? We just discussed it. Yeah, actinomorphic. Is it bisexual or unisexual?
Bisexual.
Bisexual.
Very good, bisexual. And then the calyx is present in the form of 2 plus 2, meaning 2 of them are present separately and then 2 of them are present separately. Then the amount of corolla is 4 and the androecium is 2 plus 4. And then the gynoecium is superior ovary. 2 ovary are present and they are fused. Syncarpous condition. So that is how you will deduce it. Okay. So with that being said, we'll come on to the family. And this floral formula is for the family called as Brassicaceae. Okay, this is for Brassicaceae. Now coming on to the family called as Solanaceae. This family is normally or commonly known as potato family. Okay, potato belongs to Solanaceae. How many of you remember the scientific name of potato? It has something to do with the name of the family.
Solanum.
Yes, Solanum. Very good. Solanum, what? There are many Solanum. Okay, you remember what kind of reproduction can be done from potato? You might have studied this in 10th, I think so. You people remember tuber of potato? So Solanum tuberosum is potato. Okay. Then Solanum melongena is brinjal. So Solanum is the genus for many members of the potato family. But Solanum tuberosum is potato. Okay. So it is a large family commonly called as potato family, and it is widely distributed in tropics, subtropics, and even in the temperate zones. Vegetative characters. Plants are mostly herbs, shrubs, and rarely small trees are present. So they are not very big plants. They are smaller ones, herbs and shrubs. The stem is herbaceous, rarely woody. It's not very thick stem. It's a herb-like stem, very thin stem is there. They are aerial or erect. Aerial means they are like upright, not present on the ground like so. Then cylindrical, branched, solid or hollow, hairy or glabrous underground stem in potato, meaning Solanum tuberosa. Leaves are alternate, like have alternate phyllotaxy. Simple venation is there, and sorry, simple leaves are there. They are rarely pinnately compound. They're simple leaves. They are exstipulate. Stipule is not present, and their venation is reticulate, meaning net-like venation is there. Because, and if I say that they have reticulate venation, so are they dicots or monocots? If I say they are reticulate venation, they are dicots. Okay.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, they're dicots. Monocots have parallel venation. Now talking about the floral characteristics of the potato family. So we have inflorescence. It is solitary when only the bud terminates into a flower. It can be axillary or cymose as in the case of solanum. The flower is bisexual and actinomorphic, meaning it has male and female parts in one flower, and it is radially symmetrical. The number of sepals are 5. They are united, meaning they are fused. So thin, what do you call it? Gamopetalous. Then they are persistent, like the petals don't fall off. And the estivation that they have is valvate. Is any overlapping present in valvate or not?
No.
No. Very good. Corolla, 5 of them are there, and they are also fused, means united. And again, valvate estivation is found in corolla as well. The stamens are 5 in number, and they are epipetalous, meaning they are present on top of petals. Gynoecium is bicarpellary, 2 carpels are there, and they are obligately placed. Syncarpous, the 2 carpels that are there, they are fused. Ovary is superior. Bilocular means 2 locules are there. The placenta is swollen with many ovules. If any seed plants are there, so they have many ovules, and the placentation is axile, because we know that this case, just like how the lemon had, right, locules were there, and then the seeds are arranged like this. This was axile, right? So axile placentation will be found in Solanaceae. The fruits are berry or capsule. See, berry doesn't mean blueberry. Berry means a type of fruit, just like how drupe was a fruit. Same way, berry is a fruit. Then seeds are many, and they are endospermous, meaning endosperm is present. And talking about their floral formula, so they are like this plus symbol for actinomorphic, this symbol for bisexual, then K for calyx. How many calyx are there? 5. They are fused. So we'll put brackets. Then calyx. How many calyx? 5. And they are also fused. So we'll put it like that. And androecium. How many androecium are there? So 5. But they are epipetalous. So they are attached onto the petal. Lastly, gynoecium. They are superior. Janta ke upar. And then they have 2 locules and they are syncarpous. So bracket. So this is the floral formula of Solanaceae. Now, when many floral formulas are given, just remember 5552. 5552. Just remember it like a phone number. So in those floral formula that have 5552, that is Solanaceae. Okay. Now talking about economic importance, what does this plant do? So many of them are sources of food such as tomato, brinjal, potato. Some of them are spices like chili. Chili also is a member of Solanaceae. Then some of them are medicine sources like belladonna, ashwagandha. Then there is some of them are fumigatory, something that like person smokes, that is tobacco. And then there are ornamentals used for decoration such as petunia. Any doubts? Anything that confused you people? Anything that troubled you? No? Good. So we are done with morphology. As far as the notes are concerned, see, there's nothing extra that I can make you write in this. So I'll provide you with the notes PDF. You people just take down the notes in your notebook. Okay. I'll send you the PDF. And if you do have any doubts while studying, feel free to